Alrighty, looks like we're live. Welcome everybody to my What Sold video. It has been a long time. We're talking like 2 months almost since I've made a What Sold video. And I was inspired by someone on our Facebook group page who posted her own video of what sold and asked, when are you going to post a video again? So it's been really a long time. And it kind of stinks because it was so gracious of Craigslist Hunter to give me a shout out. I got like 700 new subscribers out of it, and I think I've made one video since then. So my apologies to anybody who came to this channel hoping for all this great new content, and they found it stagnant for the last several weeks. I've been extremely busy, but I want to make this video to show you guys what sold, obviously. I think these videos are really helpful in terms of showing you, it's easy to show a haul video. Hey, I found this and it should sell for X amount of dollars. I think it's more practical to show you what actually sold and what it actually sold for, what I actually paid for it. So I have a lot to get to. I'm going through my last video covered the week ending June 11th. So I'm going to go from the 12th to the end of the month. So just over a 2-week time frame. I sold 47 items for a total of $983.58. And that is an average of $20.92 per item, which is pretty much where I want to be. I want to be at the $20 and north average. My next goal is to get to $100 per day. Once I'm at $100 per day, it's time to go full time, to leave my job and give it a go, so stop being a hobbyist and start making it a real thing. So I'm doing this Google Hangout style. Please leave comments and let me know what you think of this. I didn't take any pictures or screenshots or video of what I sold as I was packaging it, as I've done in the past. I'm just going to do a screen share and I'm going to go through my sold listings and talk about them. I'll click on the interesting ones. So without any further ado, let's go. So, all right, I'm going to start screen share here. And there's the infinity screen that we all love so much. And you don't want to see that. You want to see this, my seller hub. So let me go to June 12th, which would start with this book, Radio Amateur's Handbook. I always pick up anything ham radio that I see because last summer I bought a stack of a bunch of them. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing here. I bought a stack of about 20 of them for like $10 or $11, and they sold for anywhere from $10 to $40, mostly into like second world countries through global shipping, Europe, South Africa, things like that. So here's another one of those that sold, 1981 Radio Amateur's Handbook, and that one sold for $10.99. I probably paid a quarter for it. Here we have a Neil Young record. I'm not going to expand the records, you guys. If you followed this for any amount of time, you know that I sell a lot of records. So here Neil Young sold for $11.99, paid $1 for it. This Nintendo Advance Legend of Zelda, Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Just so you know, Game Boy games usually sell great. Game Boy Advance, not so much. You have to really pay attention to titles. Legend of Zelda is always a good title on pretty much any Nintendo platform. Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, sold for a lot less. I overpaid for this record. I paid about $9 for this record, thinking it would be closer to $40. But unfortunately, this is why you have to do research, you guys, because the market changes. A year or so ago, Iron Maiden records were selling much hotter, mostly because of the album art. Don't get me wrong, Iron Maiden's music is pretty good, but it didn't sell as much as I hoped for, but I still made decent profit on it. Prince, still hot, guys. He passed in April. Records are still doing well. Stay away from Purple Rain in 1999. The market is saturated. What you want to be looking for is Graffiti Bridge, Around the World in a Day, Love Sexy, Sign of the Times, the more obscure ones, not as breakout stuff. So just be aware of that. Sold another 45. As you may remember, several months ago, I bought a whole bunch of 45s as a experiment, more or less. So this was Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. I think I paid like a quarter or 50 cents for this, and it sold for $7. So not terrible return. Let's see here. Oh, here's a fun one. Xanadu, the soundtrack for Xanadu. Okay, here we're talking like Olivia Newton-John and ELO. So I got this record out of I think from a garage sale for like 50 cents, and it sold for $15.99. So that's a cool sale. Queen record, $9. Pretenders, $8. Here's something. We went to like this bag sale at a thrift store, and we went through swimsuits. I think this was a bag sale. I can't remember. This might have actually been a church garage sale, but this is like a Nike Tankini. We had this for quite a while, and it's finally sold for $15, but I think we might have paid a quarter or something like that for it. We bought some swimwear, kind of. We'd heard some things where people said, you know, swimwear sells really well in the winter when people go on vacation. We sold that one in June. Hooked on Phonics Master Reader Complete. I think we got this for about $5 or $6 at a garage sale, and that sold for like $55, $50.99. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, here's an interesting sale, you guys. And this is something, if you've been watching my other sold videos, you saw I had a poster that went with this record. This is the original Star Wars album from 1978. And it had a poster with it. And when we saw a bunch of unsold listings for $60, $70, $80 with the complete set, the record, the poster and everything, but not very much sold for more than like $35 to $45. But we saw the record by itself selling for $35, and we saw the poster selling for $35. So we do something that's kind of a big no-no with collectors, and that's breaking up sets. And we sold the poster in the first part of June for $36, and we sold the record for $29.99. I paid $1 for this record at a garage sale. So people who have the record but want the poster to complete it, or just want the poster because it's cool, they were willing to pay more for it, but that doesn't mean they necessarily want the record. So that was a gamble we took, and it paid off. Hooked on, homeschool curriculum, phonics homeschool curriculum right there, sold for $10. Here I got these iPod Nano 6 gig watch bands from an Apple store that had like a clearance bin, and these were like 2 for $1. So I bought 4 of them. So I spent like 50 cents on that. This is the second one this is the first one that sold. The second one will probably be in my July video, but it sold for $11.99. Let's see here. George Harrison record sold for $8.99. There's another 45. The Romantics, Talking in Your Sleep, $4. Paid maybe 50 cents or a quarter for it. $7.99 for a CD. We got these CDs from a friend who owned a dance studio and taught children how to dance, and she was just like, hey, if you guys want these CDs and you think they'll sell, you can have them. She gave us a stack of about 40 CDs, and I think the lowest one we sold for was for about $5, and we have several that have sold for $20 to $30 already. So we were very thankful for her generosity in giving us those. Now, if only I could get my browser to back up. There we go. Another 45 here, Ray Charles, You Don't Know Me, for $3.99. Here's a cool one. My first comic book sale. I used to collect comics when I was a kid, and so I'm really pumped about all of the Marvel stuff that's coming out, because I was all about Marvel. Didn't really care about DC. So this What If comic, I got at a garage sale for $1. And my kids are kind of into the Marvel thing too, because they're watching it with me. And so I thought, well, I'll take a chance on this. The Infinity Gauntlet is relevant because of the Marvel movies that are out. And all the Marvel Universe movies are building toward the Infinity Wars, which revolve around this Infinity Gauntlet. So I bought this, and lo and behold, I bought it on a total hunch. And it sold for $15.99. So pretty happy about that. Under Armour women's basketball shoes, women's size 7. These sold for $23.99. These were from the warehouse sale where I work, brand new with no box. So I paid $10 for them, because all shoes at that sale are $10. So not a huge profit on that, but we're making it up with the other shoes, as we'll see going forward. Puzzle sold for $4. Here's a fun one. Grateful Dead hat with the dancing bears. Snapback hat, very cool, very vintage. And this sold for $20. I got that with another Grateful Dead hat that I think I sold it already. I guess we'll see going forward here. But that sold for $20. I paid $1 for 2 hats, so 50 cents each for those. Homeschool curriculum. Can't stress it enough. If you see it, get it. Life of Fred. This is actually something my wife bought off eBay. She wanted to try for our daughter, who is starting algebra this year. And it turns out this was not in very, it wasn't fitting for what we're currently doing with our daughter. I think we made maybe like $6 or $7, and I think my wife paid $12 or $14 for it or something. So, but we were able to resell it. We bought it with the intention to use it. So that was good. These Harley Davidson boots I picked up at a garage sale for $5. Really cool, very good size 8 women's, with the zip up sides, very sassy looking. And here's the key, you guys, is the old Harley Davidson logos right there on the ankle, and the Harley zipper thing. So good sale there at $41.99. There's another 45 that sold for $7.99. Green Jelly. Remember those guys? Anarchy in the UK. So this is cool. This is a 31 bags are very popular here in Wisconsin. I think they're pretty popular nationwide. But my wife hosted some 31 parties online, and she got these hostess gifts. And we were able to sell these hostess gifts. They were complimentary to her for being the hostess of the party. And she sold those for $33.99, and we have more that sold, you'll see as we go forward here. Now this, you guys, if you've seen my Transformer haul video, you know all about this guy. This is Megatron. Megatron sold for $149.99, global shipping program. Okay. So cool. Has the instructions how to transform it, partially used decals. This is just, I had a really hard time selling this because, you know, I'm a kid again, you know. There he is. Look at him. Look at how just, he's going to blow your face off with that giant cannon on his arm. Doesn't you love him? It's just awesome. Look at the, apparently we just had pizza or something in the background. Normally I would look at photos like this and say, hey, your photo's got to be better quality than that. But apparently not. I mean, if you have something this vintage, I think as long as the pictures are clear, like you can clearly see what's going on in this picture. Maybe the background was kind of immaterial to that, but it sold for 150 bucks. I'm happy about that. Beatles album sold for $12.99. Got these Nike track and field bags from the same warehouse sale. What is that about? I don't know why it does that. But that sold for $2.99. We got 144 of those, and we've sold, I think, 40 of them now at $3 a piece. And you see the shipping on them. Obviously, they go first class because they're like 3 ounces. So Ray Charles record, you guys, good. And Ray Charles is always good, always good. That's always a $15 to $20 record, almost any Ray Charles title, around a 12-inch 33. All right. A puzzle. This is a dinosaur puzzle that sold for 10 bucks. PlayStation multiplayer adapter controller sold for $12.99. Here's a teacher's guide, the Lost Tools of Writing. These books were purchased at a garage sale for, I want to say, about $3, $73.99. If you're gonna look for books, that's the kind of books you want to look for, is curriculum. Nintendo Game Boy. Remember what I said earlier, Game Boy title's always good, and look at that. Do you have to say Pokemon like Bolo? Do I have to say that? I mean, is there anyone in your life who isn't doing Pokemon Go? But even before Pokemon Go, you guys, Pokemon is still big. Still big. So we got this at a garage sale for $1 with a whole bunch of other Game Boy games. Most of those were like $5 to $10 games. This one, $24.99. Another video game. This one is an Xbox, $8.99. No big deal there. Cheech and Chong record, $6.99. Cheech and Chong always sells too, but not great money, but it sells fast, and you know, I love selling records. Eddie Murphy record sold for $7.99. And by the way, that's his music, not his comedy. This was something I thought would sell for a lot more when I saw it. An external floppy disk hard drive, like the 3.5-inch discs, right? That plug into a laptop, so you can still use discs. I know that floppy disks sell really good, and my brother-in-law is a graphic artist, so they still use everything comes off a floppy disk because it's so expensive to upgrade their system. So I thought, you know, this thing might be $25 or $30, maybe even more. But I was wrong. But you know, I only spent $1 on it. So, you know, one of those things, live and learn. Again, you just can't express doing research. More homeschool curriculum, you guys. Answers in Genesis science curriculum. Looks like 4 books here. Those were stuff we used with our children, and now they're past that, so we can sell it and basically recover. I think we paid probably $40 for that curriculum. We used it for a few years, and now we've moved on, and we can recover some of our investment on that. White Lion record, Pride, their debut, sold for $15.99. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, sold for $11.99. And here we have Simon and Garfunkel, that sold for $10.99. Records, right? Foreigner, Agent Provocateur, sold for $9.99. This is a fun one, and I want to point this out. These kind of records right here, Monster Mash. Anything like Halloween, haunted house, spooky stories, typically like on the Pickwick label. This one was on the Peter Pan label, sell for good money. I thought this would be closer to a $30 album. Still only paid about $1 for it. But most of the time, I've gotten as much as $60 for this genre of record, from the 60s, 70s haunted house, like think Vincent Price narrating a spooky story with sound effects in the background that are really cheesy. Those records are super hot. So be on the lookout for those, especially coming toward Halloween here. So here's one. This record sold to the same person that bought my next two items, the Honky Tonk piano and this triple XL tall shirt. This guy, he didn't pay, and so I opened an unpaid item case on him, and he left me 3 negative feedback because I didn't give him enough time to pay. And what's crazy is eBay, I've called eBay twice and they will not remove that negative feedback. I think one of my next videos is going to be me making a 4th attempt to call eBay about getting that negative feedback removed, so you can hear how that goes. I'll have to hook up to my mixing board and everything to do that. So here's another killer from my Transformer lot. This is Wheeljack. Wheeljack sold for 110 bucks. This guy is so cool. I mean, he displays so well. Look, I got the weapons, the missiles, the little wings on him and everything. Look at just how awesome he is. Very important, no peeling decals. That Autobot decal is a little crooked. Nobody's going to really nitpick that, you guys. I was so incredibly lucky to find this lot. Once in a lifetime, literally just once in a lifetime. Look at how awesome he is as a robot. Look at him. You don't want to face Wheeljack. He's a bad dude. Look at, he's got missiles on his shoulders. You don't have missiles on your shoulders. It's awesome. And he was worth 110 bucks. So that makes me happy. Oh, let's see here. Last sale of the month was these enamelware double pot boilers. I bought a bunch of these at an estate sale. This elderly woman was going into assisted living, and she had a bunch of these. I bought about 4 of them. I think I overpaid for them. These were ones that I thought would again be worth like 30 or 40 bucks. So I think I paid $9 for each double pot broiler. I bought 4 of them. I remember I paid about $35. And you can see it's not in great condition, but that's the bottom pot, right? That's not where the food's going. So this is still usable. A lot of people will use these, like, even just for storage for their flour, sugar, or coffee or whatever, just because they're cute. You know, they're cute sitting up on the counter. And that's I mean, you can see these are old photos. That's my old sheet drapery on the bar downstairs. So yeah, guys, that is what sold. And I'm back. So again, June was a good month overall. That little over 2-week period, almost $1,000 in sales. So we're keeping the mortgage paid, we're keeping the lights on, and ultimately we are happy. And that's my wife texting me. She's at her 25th year class reunion tonight, and so that's the other half of the Potter's Pickers. Look, can you see this? I smashed my phone. I dropped it on a sidewalk playing Pokemon Go. Can you believe that? Like, taking it out of the case. I dropped it taking it out of the case. That's really unlucky. So anyhow, you guys, thanks for watching. My July video will hopefully be up in a couple of days, if not sooner. Maybe I'll just knock that thing out tonight and try to get caught up with you. Thank you for all my new subscribers, for hanging out with me. Thank you to all of you who've been with me from the beginning and seeing where we've come from to where we are now. Hopefully you've learned something. Post your what sold videos in comments, because I love to see what other people sold. I've learned more about eBay from these kind of videos than probably anything else. Podcasts and these kind of videos. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.